Chapter 130. Played. What the... A medicinal herb actually uprooted itself and was now racing off? When they witnessed such a scene, everyone was stunned for a moment before finally coming back to themselves and swiftly chasing after the runaway herb. Not even Linghan had foreseen that something like this would happen. Even if Huang Zitao and the others did not know the origins of this godly medicine, if a herb could actually uproot itself and run away, then with their intelligence, how could they not deduce that the value of this medicinal herb was far, far above what they had imagined? A godly medicinal herb was running in front, while a large group of people was chasing after it. This scene was a bit funny, but no one had the intention to laugh at this moment. They had all put their focus into running, trying to grab hold of the runaway herb. In myths, there were some treasures that had developed consciousness. They could travel underground and fly through the air, and this herb, though it was not traveling underground or flying through the air, since it was able to run around like a human being, its value should not be low. As they ran, the commotion attracted more and more people to join in the ranks of chasers. Linghan discovered that this stalk of godly medicine was definitely doing this on purpose, because it kept continuously running around in circles, attracting more and more people to chase after it. Yet it was always in control of maintaining a proper distance, obviously being very skilled at this kind of game. Could a stalk of godly medicine actually develop its own intelligence? When he thought this, Linghan could not help becoming overwhelmed with shock. A thing like intelligence belonged to human beings and demonic beasts, and some demonic beasts may even have intelligence equal to a human being's. Yet he had never heard that plants could have intelligence as well. With the deliberate leading of this stalk of godly medicine, out of the people who have entered this space, at least 3/4 had joined in the race after the godly medicinal herb. However, not one of them managed to catch up to it. They all could only run after its heels and eat dust. "We can't go on like this," someone proclaimed. "Why do I feel like I've been played with by a stalk of spiritual medicine? Although this isn't outrageous, but this is what I think. This stalk of godly medicine is evil." "Hey, if you think it's evil, you can give up. No one's forcing you to run after it." "But I'm curious." No one was willing to give up. Now, even idiots should be able to guess that this stalk of godly medicine was unbelievably valuable. There were even some people who had deliberately left to inform those old monsters to have them set up a trap outside so that this stalk of spiritual medicine would not suddenly run off through the underground river and then disappear completely. "Hear my command. Everyone move separately and combine forces to catch this stalk of spiritual medicine," the third Imperial Prince said. "Now the higher ranks have been alerted. According to them, we must apprehend this stalk of spiritual medicine at all costs, so please do not harbor any selfish motives, all of you." Everyone nodded. Since even the higher ranks outside the opening have been alerted, how could they dare to disobey? It was most appropriate for the third Imperial Prince to take command. Firstly, because he was strong enough, and secondly, because his status was high enough. As one command after another was announced, none dared to disobey. Even Hu Fengyue, Sun Buren, and the others obeyed his commands strictly. On the surface, at least, there was no disagreement from them. However, Linghan could deduce that these young men were mostly filled with great ambition. How could they simply give up when such a valuable godly medicine was right in front of their eyes? They were all definitely filled with their own motives. Once they managed to get their hands on it, they would immediately swallow it. Who knows, maybe they would experience a dramatic transformation, and in a single step, become a god. The circle of people widened, and the stalk of godly medicine kept running into danger in all directions. However, no one had guessed that the godly medicine had not been displaying its full speed at all. It was only now that it was surrounded by danger on all sides that it suddenly showed off a burst of speed, and became as quick as lightning. Once it broke through their siege, the stalk of godly medicine actually raised its roots in their direction, like a human raising his finger. When they thought about it, the finger it was raising was definitely the middle finger. Awesome. This wasn't just a stalk of godly medicine. It was also a stalk of godly medicine with the character of a ruffian. There was a strange feeling arising in all of them. They had actually been played by a stalk of spiritual medicine. "I'm so angry, I will definitely eat you." One of them, with an impatient character, shouted loudly in his anger. The circle of people was once again in place and gradually shrank in size, leaving less and less space for the stalk of godly medicine to run around in. Ling Han frowned. With the huge commotion that this stalk of godly medicine has stirred up, even if he was able to dominate over everyone here, would he be able to get this stalk of godly medicine undamaged? If he ate it in front of the eyes of everyone here, then who knows if he'd be made into human soup by the old monsters waiting outside once he exited this place. That was really something that the old monsters would do, because most godly medicines had the ability to extend one's lifespan. And what do those old monsters lack the most? Time and life. He could not help feeling troubled. What could he do now that would allow him to make this stalk of godly medicine his own, without alerting anyone else to the fact? He had the spatial ring, so there was absolutely no problem for him to conceal it without any trace. But the problem was, how could he acquire the godly medicine without letting anyone else find out? As he continued to run, he continued to ponder this problem. The godly medicine was now forced into a corner. After all, there were too many people here, so no matter how fast it was completely useless. Ling Han stopped abruptly and gasped, "Danger!" Lu Yutong and Li Xichan did not have the slightest doubt about his words, so they immediately stopped. But the others all snorted at him. This brat must be trying to fool them. They have already entered this place for quite a long time. When had they encountered with any kind of danger here? Although this was the belly of the mountain, there was always light flickering all around them, allowing their environment to be without a single hint of darkness. Yet in front of them appeared a dark space, as if it was a gigantic maw of a monster waiting to swallow them. Shoo! The godly medicine had already run in, and everyone else was right at its heels. But all of a sudden, peng, 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 peng. It was as if they had ran into an invisible wall, and they were immediately bounced back. Some of them were still fine, only coming out with bleeding wounds. Yet there were others who had been seriously injured, and some of their bones were poking out of their skin. The godly medicine stopped, and once again used its roots to signal at them, provoking them. There was no one angry this time, though, because they all came off quite horribly from the crash, and had not yet regained their breaths. "Bastard!" One of them immediately raced to Ling Han, and used his finger to point at Ling Han's nose. "Since you know there was danger ahead, why didn't you say so early on? Can you be a bit reasonable?" Lu Yutong put herself in front of Ling Han, a baleful look on her face. "Didn't Ling Han already tell you there was danger ahead? You all were the ones that didn't stop running." "Heng, you didn't say so clearly. Who knows what that danger is?" Someone argued illogically, saying loudly, "Ling Han, if you're a man, then step out here. Don't let a woman defend you." This person was in the 8th layer of element gathering tier, and so naturally was completely no match against Lu Yutong. But Ling Han was only in the 6th layer of element gathering tier, making him think that Ling Han was an easy target. Sigh, ugly people do everything to attract attention. Ling Han lightly pushed Lu Yutong to one side. Lu Yutong could not help feeling a bit worried. She was naturally not worried that Ling Han would get hurt, but rather was worried that this guy had too quick a temper and would kill off this guy that was deliberately provoking him. In that case, it wouldn't be easy to settle things. "Don't worry, for the sake of Miss Lu, I will be merciful." The person laughed coldly. The reason why he had deliberately provoked Ling Han was only to make him suffer a bit, so that Ling Han's image in Lu Yutong's eyes would be ruined. "Pah!" He had just finished talking, and his face had suffered a heavy slap. He could feel a burning pain on his cheek. He stared blankly for a moment, before realizing that he had been slapped by Ling Han. Instantly, he flew into a rage, and similarly raised his palm, striking towards Ling Han. "Pah!" Ling Han's palm once again rose and struck his face. He had moved later, yet had hit his target first, and once again gave him a slap. Moreover, the force of the blow was exceptionally strong, causing the man's figure to sway, The palm that he had raised naturally did not hit anything. He could not believe this reality, and so once again aimed a slap at Ling Han. Pa, 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 pa! He was really unlucky this time, as Ling Han slapped his face repeatedly.